So we hear it all the time, right? Companies move to the cloud, they're expecting this total revolution, and they end up with the same old problems just running on someone else's computers. Today, we're going to dig into how to go way beyond that simple migration to build something that's truly agile and actually resilient.
And that's really not an exaggeration. The move to the cloud is a massive deal. It's fundamentally changing how every single business operates, how they compete, and how they innovate, really on a global scale.
But here's the catch. Just copying what you did on-premise and pasting it into the cloud, that lift and shift approach, it completely misses the point. And even worse, it often carries over all your old problems and then introduces brand new hidden dangers that can totally undermine the very benefits you were hoping to get. Let's break down exactly why that happens.
So what is the fundamental flaw with that super common lift and shift approach? Well, it really comes down to the stuff you can't see, what's happening right below the surface. Most organizations, and you can't blame them, they tend to focus on the really visible parts of a cloud migration. The applications themselves and, of course, the immediate cost savings they're hoping for. It's the easiest part to measure, after all. But the real, significant risks, what we could call the invisible risks, they're all hidden under the hood. They're in the architecture, the security setup, the way you operate, all these things that get carried over without anyone stopping to reevaluate them for the cloud. It's kind of like putting a brand new engine in a really old car, but forgetting to upgrade the brakes or the steering.
And listen, the stakes here could not be higher. This is not a small trend we're talking about. Gartner is projecting a mind-boggling $1.3 trillion shift in IT spending to the public cloud by 2025. So getting this wrong isn't just a tech mistake, it's a massive, incredibly costly business error.
Now, a major trap of that old model is getting completely bogged down in what's called undifferentiated heavy lifting. This is all the work that just keeps the lights on, patching servers, managing backups, all that stuff. It's work that you have to do, but it creates zero competitive value for your business. The whole point of the cloud is to take this off your plate so you can focus on what actually matters.
Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we climb out of that trap? Well, it all starts with a completely different philosophy, and nowhere is that more critical than in how we think about security.
And this is where the whole concept of zero trust comes into play. Think about the old model like a castle with a big moat. Once you're inside, you're basically trusted. In a zero-trust world, it's way more like a modern bank vault. Every single person at every single door needs to prove who they are every single time. You trust no one by default.
And this leads to the core mindset of the whole thing. You have to operate as if an attacker is already inside your network. That's it. That simple but incredibly powerful assumption forces you to build defenses that are just way more robust, more granular, and more resilient right from the very start.
Now, a security philosophy is great, but you need a practical way to actually implement it, right? How do you build better systems in the cloud for real? That's where a structured blueprint, like the well-architected framework, becomes absolutely essential. The well-architected framework gives you that practical guide. It's all organized into 5 key pillars. You've got operational excellence to automate and improve, security to protect your data, reliability to make sure your systems can bounce back from failure, performance efficiency to use your resources wisely, and cost optimization to avoid wasting money. It's a complete blueprint for doing things the right way in the cloud.
Now, what's really interesting here is the huge emphasis on automation through code. And this isn't just about your servers. It means defining your security policies, your operational processes, everything as code. When you do this, you dramatically limit human error and you guarantee a consistent, repeatable, and completely auditable way of doing things.
So here's the really crucial point. When you combine that assume breach, zero trust mindset with a solid, well-architected framework, you get to solve a classic and, frankly, pretty outdated business dilemma. See, in the past, leaders were always forced to make this painful trade-off. Do you want to innovate and move fast, or do you want to maintain tight control over security, compliance, and all your costs? It always felt like you just couldn't have both.
But this modern model, it completely shatters that trade-off. It's not about choosing or anymore, it's all about achieving and. You can build systems that give you governance and control, which in turn actually enables your teams to innovate faster and, more importantly, safer.
And hey, this isn't just some theory. The data absolutely backs it up. A 2022 study from the Hackett Group shows that companies that successfully implement these modern cloud strategies see huge, measurable improvements across the board in business agility, in resilience and risk reduction, and in cost reduction. You get all 3, the whole package.
So, as we wrap this up, the big question you have to ask yourself is this.
take a really hard look at your strategy. Are you truly building for the future and using the cloud for real innovation, or are you just running your old data center on someone else's computers? The answer to that question is going to define your success for years to come.